Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Monday, August 31st, and this morning I am joined by Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF on Twitter. You can follow the main page at typical_Chicago. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLiliaTCF. Instagram and Facebook. You can go over there, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on Instagram, like our Typical Chicago Fans Facebook page. Go over to YouTube and subscribe to Typical Chicago Fans YouTube page. We're trying to get to 100 here. We're about in the 70s range. So go over there. We put all of our TCF morning shows, podcasts, interviews that we do. We got a new local legend segment of it, and we also put that out separately. So it's all on our YouTube page. Make sure you go over there to subscribe and go over to wherever you get your podcast from. If it's Apple, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe, rate, review. Spreaker, if you're one of Boomy's uncles, two uncles, thank you for liking us, following us on there. And if it's Spotify, give us a follow. Like I said, we're also on Google Podcasts. So wherever you get your podcast from, wherever it is, type in Typical Chicago Fans and follow us on there. Follow along to the podcast. Shout out to 26shirts.com Chicago. Boomy's got a shirt on right now. Matt's got some, I think, a flag on the way, or what is it you got on the way?
No, I got the Cub, like the North Sider Grateful Dead Bear shirt.
Love it.
I got
another buddy who used the promo code Typical Chicago Fans at the checkout, and they got 15% off. Who got the flag? They got flags. They got a hat. They got some shirts on there. It all goes to a great cause. 26shirts.com Chicago. Follow them on all social medias. Make sure when you go check out, as you bought all your great products, type in Typical Chicago Fans, and you will get 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. Go over to 26shirts.com Chicago, and you will get all your great products from there. Boys, how was the weekend?
Weekend was good. Today sucked, but
yeah, Boomy got stuck in a lot of traffic. It was traffic to the point where he was sending those Snapchats of him just kind of standing outside of his vehicle. About 3 hours of traffic. Nothing is worse than being in traffic.
Oh.
Literally sat in park in the middle of I-80 just outside of Walcott, Iowa. Really bad accident for ahead of us. We literally sat there from 2:30 to 5:30, so it was quite a long day.
But you get to come on.
Isn't there a nice truck stop there, though? Like a really
it's literally the exit. The accident happened on the exit ramp to the truck stop.
Yeah.
The world's largest.
Yeah, I thought there was some big one there.
But you made it home, Boomy, so that's all that matters.
We did.
Yikes. It's a rough day, Boomy.
Rough day.
Yep.
Some good bonding time with you and the wife, I bet.
She slept a little bit, but yeah, it was a lot of listening to podcasts and watching the Cubs game on the phone and just catching up on some other things.
If anyone is a fan of Entourage, I'm a huge fan of Entourage, and that's what I spent pretty much the whole weekend doing, is listening to the podcast. It's called Victory, the podcast. It's got Doug Allen, the guy who pretty much wrote the show. It's got Kevin Conley and Kevin who played Drama? I don't know. Kevin.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is. I know who you're talking about, though.
They are going through every single episode of Entourage. They are through season 1. It's a great podcast. They've had the actress who played Sloane. They had the guy who played the guy who drove. I forget what he wrote Queens Boulevard. The guy who was the actor. They had Gary Busey on there. That was one of the hardest interviews I had to listen to. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that guy. It's a great podcast though. Go over. It's Victory, the podcast. If you like that show, I was a huge fan of Entourage. And it's kind of funny. They even kind of poke fun at like the movie not doing very well because that movie was not good. But Matt, how was the weekend? I know you said that you went a little bit of a bike ride this weekend, but you're feeling a little sore.
Feeling old, dude. Feeling old. One of those weekends where it's like body's just not holding up like it used to. You know, the aches and pains getting a little stiff. So I gotta Got to get on the bike, keep the legs moving, keep the hammies firing, keep the knees popping, that kind of stuff. So
I went and played a little softball.
I don't know,
this
man.
morning. I did the same.
Yeah, that sounds miserable. I'd fall over
I actually had
way
one
too many
tonight.
times right now if I played softball. So.
I played first base, and I made just a regular play at first base. And I kind of was like hobbling away. I said, I'm a little sore, man. That was a tough play. And the guy was like, dude, you barely had to stretch for that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Just out of shape.
But I did. But I did get it.
But I did.
And I made
that
the
was
play.
Thing. And
I made the play. And I had the stretch. It worked out.
Was there.
So that's all you got to tell.
There. But, boys.
Probably felt like a Gold Glover right after that.
Let's leave this show off with the hottest team in Chicago right now, and that's the White Sox. And that's tough to say. But the White Sox are tied for first place in the division. Their offense is on fire. Other than losing yesterday, they've pretty much been on a winning streak. I mean, the offense is playing well. The pitching is keeping them in games, and it's a combination that this team was looking for. At the beginning of the year, they couldn't get the pitching there right away, but it's kind of coming around here. The offense has been there all season. This offense is hot. I think they had like 50-something home runs in the month of August, so that's pretty wild there. What are your thoughts on the Southside team?
Luis Robert might be the MVP this year.
Unbelievable right now.
He's absolutely hitting missiles right now. He's absolutely like clutch homer. Today, obviously the walk off. I mean, like it's really impressive what that young lineup is doing. Not entirely young. Brady's a veteran and he's having a monster season too. But like you said, the pitching's coming around. It sounds like they might be in the works for making a deal for Mike Clevenger from the Indians. And if they get him,
they say that they're supposed
talk about solidifying your rotation because that guy's a stud.
They're supposed to make a decision on him tomorrow or this morning. What they're going to do?
Yes,
because they've been looking to get rid of him ever since the team kind of turned on him a little bit. Him and Plesac after they got. Caught going out and out.
Yeah, and like Kopech, Kopech's the guy that's his name's being tossed around, and it seems like a good fit because the Sox are banking on Kopech to be that front end starter. Well, if you can turn him into that front end of the rotation guy right now and get a guy like Clevenger who's still under control a little bit, who's still young enough to kind of help lead the front end of your rotation for the coming years, it might be worth giving up a guy like Kopech.
That'd be a weird story.
It would be, and it might be bad optics, frankly, for the Sox to give kind of. It's almost like you're quote giving up on the guy, and he's having, he's admittedly came out is dealing with some mental health issues, trying to correct some things in his personal life. It sounds like, but then also rehabbing from an injury too, and a lot going on for that guy, and it's almost like. The Sox had stuck around with him for a long time, and it helped rehab his Tommy John and everything like that. And now you're kind of giving up on him, and it might not be the best look for him when you're going for a World Series ring. You can kind of sometimes afford the bad look, I guess, so to say too, because that team can win it, and you get a guy like Clevenger, they can really definitely make some noise in the AL.
Definitely. It's one of those things, with the weird season and kind of the way all the world is shaken out, 60-game season, kind of that quick push, you might as well, throw some chips in. And I think the Kopech aspect of it's not not going to make or break your future, like you had said, Matty. So, yeah, I think that could be a huge piece, but also, you got to always, weigh the pros and cons. And if it's just Kopech, but, I've also heard different things about Vaughn and a couple other guys maybe getting thrown in. So it's always, a balancing act when you're talking about trades. So, but like you said, if they add them, they're going to put themselves up there as a contender. They keep smashing the ball the way they have lately.
Wouldn't that kind of be the definition of a trade would be the balancing act? Like you're trying to balance out the trade.
I'm talking about their future.
I know. I'm just saying. You kind of explained a trade to us there. I like that. I like to be explained things. But the White Sox, you can't say much more about this team than they are on fire. They win this division. Like I said, they're tied for first place. I don't know, like you said, if they can get some solidified front end starters right now, and help out Giolito there, I think that they can really make a run to win this division.
When was the last time that there was a major trade between two teams that were tied for first place in the same division? Because that's what could happen.
That's what COVID's doing right now. Like I said, they've been looking to get rid of him because definitely some teammates came forward saying that they were not very happy and stuff. So they were. This is kind of been waiting here a little bit. I think that I don't know how they got suspended or whatever. Now they're back. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll be talking about that tomorrow on the show because I think the trade deadline ends, right? Tomorrow?
I think it's tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I'll be on.
The 31st. It just sounds like the right day.
You might, Zach. I'll check it right now, but I think you're right. And if it's not tomorrow, it's like within the next day or two.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think it ever sounds like it ends on like the 1st or 2nd. It feels like a 31st is always the end.
Yeah, it is August 31st. Yep.
Okay, so we'll be
till
we'll
3 o'clock Central Time.
We'll have all your
3
White
o'clock
Sox
Central Time.
trade deadline updates.
Zach's on the beat, right?
Yeah,
you're on the beat tomorrow, I think, right?
Yep. Taking off work, and I am following the White Sox.
Working the phone lines.
Yep.
Work the phone
Scoop
lines
City,
like Jeff Passan, baby. Let's
Scoop
go.
City. At least we got a nice end to our weekend as Cub fans because the outfielders, boys, they got hot for us. Did
something that's never been done in baseball history.
Oh, yeah.
All 3 outfielders hit multiple home runs.
That is unbelievable. As in
MLB has been
Ian Happ, Jason Hayward,
going on
Kyle Schwarber hit a home run. Kyle Schwarber with a grand slam to end it all. Cubs win 10-1, split a series with the Reds. They're still the only team in their division as of right now that has a over 500 record. I think the Cardinals are like 1 game under 500 right now. So we need to keep capitalizing on this weak division as of right now. The Brewers are looking to get rid of Hader, so I think they're kind of calling it quits on their season in a way. But this Cubs team, they need a 10 game lead right now. They don't need the 4 or 5 game lead they have. They need a huge lead with how bad this division is, and the teams they're playing. They should have a bigger gap, and I hope they can make it a big gap at some point here. But this is promising, and what it really shows is how Ian Happ is playing unbelievable this year, and the fact that he's probably the best hitter on this team right now. Kyle Schwarber has been there, and Jason Hayward has also been playing well on the offensive side. That's
what I'm thinking, like 2 guys that, obviously have, I would say, overperformed this year. 2 guys that, a year ago were kind of in a lot of people's doghouse with Ian Happ and Jason Hayward, and they're now 2 year better hitters. And then after they have
on Sunday time in the minors too. So you can kind of see with that too. He had to go work on his swing, and so did Ian Happ. And Jason Hayward over the last few years has had to work on his offense. And I really think
Javi Baez did it.
What was that?
Javi Baez did it. Javi Baez, when the Cubs brought up Jorge Soler, it's a frequent thing,
But
this outfield is looking like they're cooking right now, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
They also make a trade to pick up, was it Jose
Martinez? Great against lefties, and that's what they need. A righty against lefties. He's going to be out there whenever they need him against lefties, so you'll be able to pick his spots with that guy. I think that's going to be a great pick, a great trade. I mean,
I do know with the deadline today, I have heard rumors. Obviously, they're just rumors, but there may be an Almora deal in the making. Maybe DFA. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I love trade deadlines. I absolutely love them.
It's
fun. Definitely gets the pot going, Stirs everything up.
We'll have all that updates tomorrow, too.
Like crazy weekend of ups and downs. I mean, they split the games, but their 2 losses were a combined 2 runs, and one of them was Craig Kimbrell absolutely blowing it in the 7th inning against a depleted Reds team. But it could have been an amazing weekend with a 4-game sweep. But, hey, you take what you can get. And then, obviously, Sunday with the absolute routing 10-1. So
Well, unfortunately, today we saw Chatwood go out with some elbow discomfort. Kind of set the way to show that Q looks like he's ready maybe to get back in this rotation. He looked pretty good today. So that was kind of nice to see, but not good to see with Chatwood. He threw 2 in the dirt, and he kind of quickly called out the training staff. You knew that wasn't good, so we're going to have to see with that. He had a back injury already. Now he's got the elbow discomfort. So
depending on the severity, that could have been his last game as a Cub. It depends how long, obviously, this injury lasts. But
let's hope it's not.
Yeah, for his sake anyway.
At least Quintana's, he looked all right.
We wish he wouldn't have been in that spot, but that's kind of what he was there to do. At least it wasn't supposed to be that early, but that's kind of what they've been doing with Chatwood and Quintana, and maybe you can put in Quintana full time here in the next week or so. Boys, we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We got the Pirates. We got John Lester, Kyle Hendricks, Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is not actually in the rotation as of yet. But they kind of were talking about it today, how it kind of sets up. That would be a great little sweep there, throwing out, hopefully, your 3 aces. Or 3 best pitchers. I wish you would say aces. You can't have aces. That was dumb.
No, it's a great opportunity to write some of those. Like we said, you lose those 2 close ones this weekend in Cincinnati, and it's a nice way. You got to come into this one like, hey, let's pounce on it. Let's take at minimum and look to take even full sweep. So good opportunity to bounce back.
Bad Pirates team.
Can't deny the fact Yu Darvish is an ace, dude. He's the best pitcher in the National League right now.
Yep.
So yeah. But he's just been outstanding.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And I hate to be this way, but tonight, Jake Arrieta gave up 7 earned runs tonight, not pitching well, and there were so many people that were wishing that. And
irate about it. People were irate about it.
I was never the biggest fan at first of the Yu Darvish contract in a way, but I never brought it back to the point where it was comparing it to Jake Arrieta because, you knew that guy, he struggled kind of a little bit before he came to Chicago, had that one great year, and I just didn't think it was sustainable. And unfortunately, like you said, he's been struggling late. We always loved Jake Arrieta.
Arrieta's just showed some signs of wear and tear.
Seasons in Major League history for a pitcher.
At least in the last 30 years, no question. Within the last 30, 40 years, it was one of the best seasons ever.
But we move on. The Bears have a little QB competition. There is not going to be a starter named yet, but there's been back and forth. They started off saying Mitch was playing really well at the beginning. Then they said that there had been a quarterback who has had the best day out of any quarterback, and that was Nick Foles. So I think it's going to be one of those, we're just going to have to wait and see until probably literally the week of the game to know. And it's going to be, if you pick Nick Foles, you're kind of giving up on Mitch Trubisky. And if you can't, it's going to be tough to bring Mitch Trubisky back in after Nick Foles if he somehow struggles or whatever. But I think that we'll see Nick Foles out there. I think that
I have a feeling they're going to go with Mitch until Mitch looks bad.
But what if he looks bad in training camp and everyone keeps going? You got.
He has been. It's what it sounds like.
That's what I mean. You got to pick the better quarterback in the moment too.
Yeah, I agree with you personally. I think that's what they should do. I don't think that's what they're going to do because I don't trust Ryan Pace. And
I don't think
Ryan Pace is his career is tethered to Trubisky. And
but it's not his
if
choice.
Trubisky, I know, but you got to think he's got some impact. That's all I'm going to say. He's going to push to start this. All I'm saying is I think what he's going to do is push to start the season with Trubisky. Nagy's going to say, "Fine, we'll start the season with him." The first sign of any wavering, he's out, and here comes Foles. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm not saying that's what should happen. I think Foles. I agree with you. I'm not saying that's what they should do. I want to make it very clear that's not what I'm saying. I think that's what Ryan Pace is doing.
I think that's just you trying to force a narrative that is not going to work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I thought I was waiting for
Ryan Pace is an idiot, though.
To say something.
No, he's got Jordan Love problems. Let's not get into his world.
That guy
Our
looks,
third string is better than either of your first strings. So.
Whatever. Brett
Wait a
Hundley
minute.
sucks.
No,
Get out of here.
That's just you being an idiot. Please say that.
Yeah.
No.
Because that's not true at all. That's just
Who's Rogers going to break up with this year? Which breakup's going to be in his head this
See,
season?
that's just
I'm
a
still winning
stupid
the
ass
division.
comment too. Well, you could actually say that your real quarterback is good, but you had to.
Hey, I was
go
going to
third
stay out of it.
string.
You brought me into it, so.
No,
Your smirk brought
yeah,
you
your
into it.
smirk
Get out
brought
of
you
here.
into it. What's your thoughts on it?
I think Matt's right. But I agree with both of you guys. I mean, it's not the right move. I think that Nick Foles is probably the better quarterback, but there's so much that's tied to Trubisky. With Pace and Nagy. I unfortunately think you guys are going to see Trubisky.
Because
I agree, Zach.
You're right, Zach.
I know, but my thing is, everyone keeps saying they're what? How can you say, oh, we're going to throw this guy out there if he's not your for sure better quarterback? And from what I've been hearing, Nick Foles is clearly the better quarterback. Well, you still got to let Mitch go out there and what? So what? If Mitch has a 2 bad series, are we going to be done with him? Or are we going to sit him and then that's the end of it? I think it's just stupid.
I agree with you. I think Foles should be the starter. Foles won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. He's a better quarterback than Trubisky.
If what you guys are saying, wouldn't they just say Mitch Trubisky already? If it's so set in stone that they were organizationally that they're going to do it and they want to keep this guy happy,
I don't think Nagy wants Trubisky. I think Nagy wants Foles. I think it's power struggle.
It's his decision most likely, and if he wants. I don't know.
I hope you're right. Dude.
I
That's
do
all
too.
I'm saying. I really hope you're right.
The NBA playoffs came back on Saturday. We had the Lakers ending the series with Portland, and then we had the Celtics beating. The Celtics.
Yesterday, the Bucks beat the Magic, the Lakers beat the Blazers, and the Rockets destroyed the Thunder.
Oh, the Celtics played today. The Celtics beat the Raptors pretty bad today. And then Utah and Denver. That is
what a series, baby.
Game 7. That is some of the best sounds in sports is Game 7.
I want more Jamal Murray and I want more Donovan Mitchell.
Jamal
Give it to me every night of the week.
A 50 burger. 50 burger for the boys. And that was
an
unbelievable game, and this is an unbelievable series. Unfortunately, I think that either team wins is probably not going to win the next round. But this has been a great round in general. I mean, these two teams have some great young talent on their teams. Jamal Murray, my goodness, have yourself a night.
Yeah, I read a tweet from Eli Hershkovich. He has Jamal Murray's past 3 games. 47.3 points per game, 62.4% from the field, 62.9 from 3, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.7 turnovers per game. That's impressive, boys.
That's insane. And what it really shows you how mentally tough that these guys are from coming back from what they were going through the last few days to come back and put it all back out there on the table and literally just pick up where they left off from in the playoffs. I mean, it's just great. LeBron playing great, AD playing great, the Lakers playing good, the Celtics playing good. The Raptors not looking good today. But then he said Utah and Denver going back out there, and Jamal Murray very emotional after the game. That was a very powerful message that he sent after the game. But it's one of those things. It just shows you how mentally tough these guys really are. Because it's a tough thing to go through what they were going through and then go back out there and play basketball.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's all over the league. They've all been going through it. You know, what's happened this week, and then you get great games on Saturday. You get great games today. You're seeing teams really put it together. I mean, a team like Boston, who not a lot of people gave a ton of credence to. I mean, obviously people said they were in the picture, but to come out and blow the Raptors' doors off today.
They gave the Raptors a lot of credit for their first round series, trying to say that the Raptors were going to repeat again, this and that. I think that they kind of overlooked the Celtics, and I honestly think the Celtics will win this series. I think they're just overall
the Celtics got to a decent shot, to make it out of the East. I mean, the Bucks are good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like anybody in the NBA is like a guaranteed like this team's going to the finals this year. So it's
one of those things with Giannis. You got to prove that you can win the big games, and
definitely
there's some guys on the Celtics who have been in some big games before. But this is quickly becoming my favorite segment of the show. Matty Puck's NHL Playoff Breakdown. Matty, give me your breakdown, please.
Boys, we got a hell of a playoffs going here for us in Canada, in Toronto, and also in Edmonton. Toronto, so they're housing the Eastern Conference games. The Islanders, they're playing the Flyers. The Islanders went up 3-1 tonight in the series. Brock Nelson scored twice tonight. Islanders won 3-2. They're getting ridiculously good goalie play from Thomas Greiss, and he made Robin Lehner expendable. He was the guy that allowed them to, let Lehner walk in free agency. The Hawks signed him, and we know where it went from there. Islanders just have some juju going, man. I think they've lost 3 games or 4 games now since the bubble started.
Wow.
It's they don't have a lot of household names. It's your Matt Barzals or Bolivier's, Jordan Eberle's, Nick Leddy. He's a guy that we know here. But like I said, you get 2 goals from Brock Nelson tonight. They're just getting timely goals. They're playing tough. Philly's a team that likes to bang too, and you can see the Islanders are fighting through that. They're getting the dirty goals. All 3 of their goals were up in the net. It's up right in the goalie crease, basically, just kind of fighting for them. So teams like that make deep runs, and that's exactly what they're doing. Other side of the East, you got the Lightning and Bruins. Lightning are kind of running away with that series, and as they probably should. Most talented team in the league still. Coming off 2 years ago, they had the President's Cup. I think they had something in the neighborhood of 120 plus points in the season, and then lost in the first round. And
yeah, that's right.
It's I think it's swept too. Right? Yeah, yes, it was Columbus, and it was one of those teams every year that are knocking on the door to going out and winning a Stanley Cup, and they just don't seem to do it. They lost the Hawks in the last of the 3 Hawks Cups. They got guys like Kucherov, who's probably the best offensive player in the world right now. They're getting a lot of good work from Braden Point. Andre Palat's been really good. They're missing Steven Stamkos, another name, household name, but they're getting ridiculously good goalie play too. And it's Andrei Vasilevsky. He's a big Russian goalie. He's one of those guys that was really highly touted coming up in junior hockey. Played on the World Junior teams for Russia for a couple seasons. Guy that if you pay any attention to those kind of games at all, he was like one of those goalies. It's like, this guy's gonna be good. Didn't come into the league so great, and now he's playing out of his mind. So it's another guy that get good goalie play, and you have studs offensively. The story can write itself for you. Going to the West, and we're going to go to Edmonton now, where the West is playing. This is where shit's getting interesting, boys. The Avalanche and Stars are playing a series right now. The Stars lead 3-1 after winning tonight. Game 5 coming on Monday night. But there's just goal after goal after goal in the series. It's 5-4 tonight.
Every time I look at a score from that game, it's always there's more goals than I ever saw.
If you see an over at 5.5, it's a must buy. If you see an over at 6, buy it down to 5.5. I'm telling you, it's like the easiest money in the world right now. Gurrianov, a stud rookie for the Stars, scored again tonight. They're getting just ridiculously good offensive production from their blue line. And when you're getting good, you got good forwards like they have, and you're getting, you got 2 defensemen like John Klingberg and Heiskin who are just absolutely they're all world offensively. And you got that kind of play. It's, they're going to be ridiculously hard to beat. The Avs were a team, going into the playoffs, I thought was going to be a tough out. Having Nathan McKinnon, Rattanen's a stud player. Gabriel Landeskog's really good. They got good defensemen, but down 3-1, and it's not looking good for them. Other side of it, last series we got going is the Vegas Golden Knights and Vancouver Canucks. Vegas is up 2-1 in the series, and they jumped out to an early lead. Vancouver tied it back up. Vegas went up 2-1, and now Vancouver has since scored twice. This game's kind of going off the rails right now in the second. About 5 minutes to go in the second right now. Vancouver's got a couple seconds left on the power play, but they're up 3-2. Vegas is relentless. We saw what they did to the Hawks. They come at you in waves. Shockingly, though, they did not play Robin Lehner tonight. They went with Marc-Andre Fleury They're up 2-1 in the series. They switch goalies coming off a back-to-back. I think it's probably to save Leonard's legs a little bit, and they might be paying for it now because it's 3-2, and Vancouver's putting a lot of pressure on Fleury now at this point in the series too. So tonight especially, but I'm sure you will see Leonard unless there was an injury, coming in Game 4, or excuse me, Game 5. They got to get there though, man. This is they're up 2-1 in the series, but they're on their heels at the moment tonight. So.
People, I'm gonna be real. We do this show later at night. And I got the Sunday scaries a little bit. That just helped all my Sunday scaries. Matty, that was a great breakdown. That was beautiful. That was absolutely flawless. Beautiful, flawless. That's Matty Pucks with the NHL playoff breakdown. You can't get better NHL playoff breakdown anywhere. Not even ESPN. That was beautiful. I will.
Zach, you're a saint.
I'll take that over ESPN any day.
And I'm still hitting threes too, boys.
With a football.
Holy shit! Markstrom just got run over.
You were saying
got to be
names
up.
that
There's a
I've
penalty
never
there.
Heard of. That was.
Vancouver's going on the power play again too, boys.
That was beautiful. But Boomy, do you have a wacky web story for us?
Of course I do. And I don't know if you guys saw anything but on this weekend, but a Michael Jordan card. Did you guys see this? A 1986 Michael Jordan card went for auction for like $460,000 or something crazy like that. And obviously the sports card market's going crazy right now, but also in auctions, there is a very, very strange item that is going to be up for auction here through a Boston-based RR auction. It'll be coming up I believe this week. And that is a lock of Abraham Lincoln's hair, which is wrapped in a blood-stained telegram about his 1865 assassination. The minimum bid will be started at $10,000 and expects to get at minimum, or they're expecting $75,000 for, and picture it's basically just a lock of hair, and it looks like a ribbon wrapped around it. But there is actually blood from Abraham Lincoln.
Why does somebody want that? What are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do?
You got
Abe
Lincoln's hair, man. I don't know.
Guess what I got here? I got some blood-soaked hair that used to be Abraham Lincoln's. Oh, cool.
And it's only
150-year-old too.
Yeah,
and
it's only 2 inches long, and it's basically it was removed during Lincoln's post-mortem examination after he was shot. So yeah, if you got $75K laying around, you can pick up a piece of Abe's hair.
No, you know what? Do something way better.
It's dog hair. It's dog hair dipped in ketchup. I'm woke to this.
Do something way better with your money than that.
Probably something that should be in a museum, but yeah, some
museum
East is
kind of makes sense.
It should be in the ground. It should be in the ground or
attached to his
one of the two. Right.
Yeah.
Like you don't hold on to that shit. Who holds on to that stuff?
Psychos.
Yeah. Some weirdo in like Boston's probably had it in his house for the last 60 years. He got from his great grandpa or something.
Well, that's just gross. But boys, anything post show?
I'm telling you, you got to watch this Vancouver Vegas series. And when we're done here recording tonight, I'm telling you guys, this game just like completely flipped on its axis. Like when I was taking my notes down tonight, I literally wrote in Vegas takes a 3-1 lead in the series just because they were so dominant in the first period. Like they were up 1, but it was just it was 2-1 for a while. It just felt like they were just in control. All of a sudden, it's just like bam, bam, 2 quick goals, and it's Vancouver's just flying now too. It's crazy.
Boomy, any updates? If you listen to the podcast. Corn. You got any sweet corn for us? You got any connections?
I haven't been home all weekend. Might have to hit the plug up and get some corn for the week.
Pigoy also has sweet corn connections. So TCF, if you want some sweet corn, you hit us up.
We're in the sweet corn mob, I think, at this point.
Oh yeah.
Like we could definitely start a ring, getting it going.
A lot of sweet corn. Nothing better than some sweet corn too. I haven't had.
Get my kid, Pigoy's kids, in a couple of years out there detasseling all of our own corn. We'll start producing our own.
There we go.
TCF branded corn. We'll put the logo right on the husk.
Yeah, your little brand on there.
Yeah,
Good thinking.
yeah, just burn it right into there, man.
We
That'd be
are
sweet.
Patent pending. Patent pending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't take that idea.
Branded sweet corn.
Branded sweet corn.
Branded sweet corn. I'm in this. I'm in for
There
this.
we go.
No,
But boys, thank you for joining me tonight. Matt Schoolfield at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I am Zach Lulia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLulia TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, follow Typical Chicago Fans on there. Go over to Facebook, like the Typical Chicago Fans page. Go over to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, and subscribe. We got our morning shows, podcasts, food reviews. We got some local legend interviews that that are in our podcast, but we put them out separately on our YouTube also. So go check them out and go over to wherever you get your podcast from. If it's Apple, subscribe, rate, review. Spotify, follow us on there. If you got, like, say, Google Podcasts, just make sure you follow us on there wherever you get your podcast from. Type it in. Follow us on any sort of ways of getting your podcast. I don't really know how many other ways. I've really only used the Apple podcast, so I am a little bit dumb to all of that. But Spreaker, always shout out Boomy's two uncles. We love that they follow us on there. We gotta give them a shout out every time. And then shout out to 26shirts.com Chicago. Boomy's got one of their shirts on right now. Go over there. And where if you get some of the beautiful products, you go to checkout, type in Typical Chicago Fans, will give you 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans for a 15% discount on any of your purchases. They got shirts, they got a hat, and they got some flags. So like I said, Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off at 26shirts.com Chicago, and follow them on all social medias. Boys, anything else?
Let's have a week.
Let's have a great week.
Do it, boys.
The Cubs do not play today. We hope they keep it moving. And the White Sox, they might be winning the division. We may have two division winners here in Chicago. Let's hope. Let's hope for at least the Cubs.
Here's the hoping.
That's been the TCF Morning Show, Monday, August 31st. We love you all.
Peace.
See ya.